Hi, my name is Ranjit, and I'll be going through intimate image abuse, also known as revenge porn. In April 2015, the Criminal Justice and Courts Act made it an offence for a person to disclose a private sexual photograph or film, if the disclosure is made without the consent of an individual who appears in the photograph or film, and with the intention of causing that individual distress. Here are the different types of intimate image abuse: sextortion and webcam blackmail, intimate images shared without consent, threats to share your intimate images, voyeurism, and upskirting. Sextortion, also known as webcam blackmail, is when intimate images and videos are recorded and used for financial exploitation and coercion. The majority of cases involved individuals meeting via social media and dating websites and forming a relationship through conversations. The blackmailer often assumes the identity of a stereotypically attractive man or woman who, after gaining the victim's trust, will quickly persuade them into sending intimate images or videos, or will record sexual consent without the victim's knowledge or consent. The images and videos will then be used to blackmail them for money or further sexual content. Sextortion can be committed by an individual or by organized criminal gangs overseas. It is important not to give them any time or money, and do not negotiate. They want to engage with you so they can threaten you and exert pressure. Block and do not respond to any more messages. The amount they ask for is designed to be just enough to encourage you to pay. It won't be enough, and they will come back and demand more. We'll give you more information at the end of the video on how to respond back to sextortion. There may be an instance where intimate images have been shared that were unconsented. It is an offence for a person to disclose a private sexual photograph or film if the disclosure is made without the consent of an individual who appears in the photograph or film. Your first reaction might be to delete all the content immediately, and this is your choice, but we do advise, if you want to take or seek legal action, it may be the best to contact the police first before reporting the content and risking having evidence removed prematurely. It is really important you try and collect as much evidence as possible, and we will share more about this at the end of the video. Even if you know who is responsible, we would advise that you stop communicating with that individual. Do not try and negotiate or bargain with them. If you feel it would offer you reassurance, block the perpetrator from your email, phone, and social media platform. If this is going on for some time, or if there's other harassing behavior happening against you, it can be a good idea to create a record of a timeline of events. Even threats to share intimate images is against the law. The Sentencing Council included the threat to disclose intimate material or sexually explicit images within its guidelines for offences under the Communications Act 2003. Blackmail is also a serious crime in the UK and is covered by the 1984 Theft Act. Voyeurism. In the UK, it is against the law to record a private or sexual image or video of someone without their knowledge or consent for sexual gratification. This is covered under Section 67 of the Sexual Offences Act 2003. This is known as voyeurism. There are 4 main offences within voyeurism legislation. Number 1, getting sexual gratification from watching another person doing a private sexual act and not knowing they have been watched. Secondly, operating equipment within the intention of having them or someone else watching for sexual gratification from an unconsenting person doing a private act. Thirdly, recording an unconsenting person doing a private act and does with intention of them or someone else getting sexual gratification. And finally, installing equipment or constructs or adapts a structure or part of the structure with the intention of watching an unconsenting person doing a private act for sexual gratification. If someone is found guilty of this offence, they can receive a maximum prison sentence of 2 years. In 2019, upskirting was included in a subsection of voyeurism. It made it an offence for someone to operate equipment beneath the clothing of another person with the intention of seeing their buttocks, genitals, or underwear of the person recorded, without their consent or reasonable belief that they consented, or view it themselves or show it to someone else without the consent of the person recorded, with the intention to obtain sexual gratification or cause humiliation, alarm, or distress to the victim. Someone found guilty of this offence will face a maximum of 2 years in prison. All voyeurism offences are classed as sexual offences. This means that the victim is entitled to anonymity, meaning that they won't be identified by the media, nor any information that might identify them, such as photographs or their address. Here is what to do if you've had intimate images shared online without your consent, or someone is threatening to share your intimate images, or there is instance on sextortion. Please remember to keep calm. You haven't done anything wrong, and what's happened is not your fault. Step 1, collect evidence. Step 2, report to the police, non-emergency number 101. If at any point you feel like you're an immediate threat or risk of any physical danger, contact the police on 999. Step 3, report content. If you can, try to report and block the user on the social media platform they're threatening you on. Step 4, report, block, and stop communication. Once you've collected enough evidence, we would encourage you to block and stop all communication. And finally, talk to the helpline. Call 0345 6000 459 or email them on help@revengepornhelpline.org.uk. So what to do if you have had intimate images shared online without your consent? Step 1, take screenshots of any content that is online. Step 2, try and include the URL, which is the website address, the times and the dates of when it was posted, and any details of who it was posted by. And finally, keep copies of any public or private messages, especially those of threatening nature, together with the dates and the time sent.